Okay, so, we've spent day two talking about competing in this hyper competitive and hyper personalized world. And this is where productivity is no longer about doing more, it is about doing better, faster, and smarter. And so, our next speaker is here to talk to us about unlocking that power within ourselves and within our organization. He's a leader who has successfully helped scale businesses, build teams across continents, and created a culture of ethics, of empathy, and of excellence. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Chief Executive Officer of Unilever International, Mr. Aseem Puri.
I need a clicker. Can I have the clicker, please? The clicker. Is it here? The slides are up? Yeah, okay. Okay, fantastic. Good morning. Good morning. I think a lot of people partied till 4 a.m. I heard last night. Yes? 5? Who's the 5 o'clock crowd? Show of hands. Everybody? Not everybody. I know a few slept at 11. But fantastic. Great to be in this audience and great to be with all of you. So let me start by asking you 3 questions and simple show of hands. How many people in this room would like to grow your turnover 10 times? You would like to grow your turnover 10 times. And for the rest of you who are not raising your hands, I don't know what you're doing here. Second, how many of you feel you don't have enough time? There are too many things to do. बहुत कुछ हो रहा है, time नहीं है. How many of you? Only half the group. The rest of you look okay. And how many of you feel like I don't have enough time for myself, holidays, taking a break, gymming, working out, whatever. मेरे लिए time नहीं है, बस काम के लिए time है. I heard from one of the CREDAI colleagues, I wake up, I work, I go to sleep. That's what I do. That's my life. So I think it's true for all people who lead big organizations. And I will share with you a few examples of how in Unilever International we've scaled the business 10 times. And I think the previous panel was talking about what's the most important course. It's about REIT, it's about capital, it's about raising money. I think you guys know all of that. You know how to raise money, you know how to get regulatory done, you know how to build buildings and how to sell. You're not here for that. I think the challenge is how do you scale your business without losing your mind while having time for yourself and having a balance in your life. And so we're going to talk about 10x performance through people. And I lead a business called Unilever International, headquartered in Singapore. What we do is we cater to all the markets in the world where you want to go for a holiday, Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles, and all the places you never want to go, Yemen, Syria, and anywhere else where there is a civil war or conflict going on. So it's a complex business, it's a global business. I love to write about it, so I've written a book called 10x Productive, and I will talk to you about the lessons from that book today. So a few years ago, within Unilever, right, we have many companies. How many people here from India? I'm assuming everybody, right? So you know Hindustan Lever, obviously. So Unilever is a big global giant. We have many companies inside Unilever, like Hindustan Lever, Unilever US, etc. Ours is a small startup that started in Singapore 8-9 years ago. When we started, our rank within Unilever was number 50. Any guesses how many companies within Unilever? Any guesses? 50. We were the last rank, right? A really small company, ignored by everybody. We have big problem in retaining people because we have a small team. We are telling people, you have to work on Africa, you have to work on Nigeria, you have to travel here, travel there. Not sustainable. We have this particular e-commerce acronym called CRAP, cannot realize a profit. So we are unprofitable, we are low margin business because we are selling in all these crazy places. And finally, wherever there is a civil war, wherever there is a conflict, I get a phone call and say, Acha bhai, you handle this market now. East Timor, there is a riot going on, you handle it. So it's a messy business, not making money and not doing well. Today, as we look at it right now, in the month of September 2025, we have built the world's largest distribution network. Today, this business run by a small team manages 202 countries. So we are the single largest distribution network on planet Earth. We have grown our revenue 10x. Today, consumers spend, if I convert to Indian rupees, about 30,000 crores on the portfolio that we manage. And this business was nothing. It was less than 1,000 crores. So we've grown almost 30x. And this business is more profitable than Apple. It makes more money than what Apple makes, selling soap, selling shampoo, selling detergent. So the question is, how did this happen and what are the lessons? So the first lesson, and I will request some mics in the audience if possible, or you can shout it out. The first lesson is, what are your life goals personally? And I want to ask this audience, how many weeks do you think personally you have left to live? Can you calculate quickly? कितने हफ्ते बचे आपके पास? Somebody says 1,500. Anybody else in the audience? And that too is not guaranteed, right? Nothing is guaranteed in life. 2,000. So it's very simple. Whatever life age you expect to live, 70, 75, 80. If you're an Indian man, you're in a high risk category. Trust me. If you're an Indian man above 40, you're in a very high risk category. Multiplied by the number of weeks, roughly, you're absolutely right. 1,500, maybe 1,000, and who knows whether even those are guaranteed. Let me ask another question. In your life, how much time are you going to spend first on social media, on streaming, meaning watching YouTube, Netflix, whatever, and third, in our favorite topic, doing work meetings? What do you think? How much time of your life will you spend on these three things? Any guesses? Can we have some mics in the audience so people can speak? Any guesses? Any? Every day? Meeting, kaam ka meeting. On average, you're going to spend 5 years of your life on social media. Years. 8 years on streaming, and maybe for this group might be less, maybe you don't do so much, and at least 5 years in meetings. Now you contrast this with the following. How much time in your life are you going to spend getting physically intimate with another person, meaning having sex, hugging a person, or getting kissed? Time with your friends and time on holidays. What do you think? Remember, the scale is you spend 5 years on social media. So what's the equivalent for getting physically intimate with another person? 6 months, okay? ये बोल रहे 6 महीने. It's 20 days. On average, it's 20 days. This is the amount of time on average. 1.5 years with your friends and 1.5 years on holidays, that too if you get lucky. So with a limited amount of time, time is going in things that really don't count and not going into things that really do count. So the first action really is, this is examples of how we set goals in Unilever International. We don't know how to build the biggest distribution business, but we will build it. Why should I, if I'm going to set a target, why should I set a target of 20%? Let me set a target of 1,000%. Do we know how to do it? Answer is no. We don't know how to do it. But once you set that goal and you repeat it 100 times, what I've seen is every 3 years, when you look back at the diary of what you wrote 3 years ago, more or less it happens. So the question to all of you is, your first task, if you have 1,500 weeks, 1,000 weeks left to live, is to create something like this. What are your life goals? Now, the life goals may be to do with an IPO, with money, with a holiday, with your health, with something in your family. I don't know. But if you don't have this, I guarantee you, work will suck up your life. And at the age of 70, when you look back, all you have is a financial net worth. So I think having life goals, life OKRs is the first lesson to getting 10x productive. And that is a must for everybody. And if most people don't have this, apart from financial business goals, health-wise, family, passions, etc. The second mantra for us is we have a mantra called default answer is yes, which means if somebody comes up with an idea, somebody comes up with a proposal, somebody has an opportunity in mind, in this business, we are not allowed to say no. If anybody's saying no, they have to explain why no. They have to write a presentation why. The person saying no must give the explanation. Default answer is yes. Let me give you an example. Few years ago, somebody asked me this question, would you like to start an airline? I said, have you lost your mind? We are in the business of selling soaps, shampoos, and detergents. What do you mean start an airline? He said, no, we just heard 8 days ago in Wuhan, there is an emergency being declared in China. We think there is a pandemic coming. The Singapore government needs hygiene supplies, and the health minister wants to make an announcement in the next 15 days that all Singapore citizens are covered, and we have enough hygiene supplies available in the country. But we have 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, we need to make the product, land the product here. I don't care how it's done. I said, okay, you're telling me you need sanitizers for everybody in this country. It's an alcohol product. We have 2 weeks. We have no factory, no product, nothing. And the person on the call is telling me, boss, tell me, can you do it? Can you not do it? Okay, default answer is yes. We said, okay, let's do it. We put a team together of 5-6 people and said, okay, start finding factories, start finding materials. This is before it's been declared as COVID-19. Figure out how you're going to get the damn thing here because it's a ton of alcohol, right? How are you going to fly alcohol? So we start calling every airline in the world, and most airlines say, sorry, I'm not going to fill a plane full of fuel with more alcohol and fly to Singapore. But finally, we managed to do it. This is the image 10 days later of the plane landing in Singapore with the first supply of sanitizers to this country. Health Minister made his speech. And as a result of this, we had a $300 million business that year built from zero because we said yes to an opportunity without knowing how to do it, right? And based on that mantra, every time now there's an opportunity, the default answer is yes. Let me give you an example. This is an example of Nigeria. For people who don't know or have not been there, Nigeria will become the world's most populous country in the next 3 decades. 300 million people. Nobody wants to do business in Nigeria. Crazy currency, difficult market, unsafe environment. In order to travel to Nigeria, I have to sign an official kidnap and ransom insurance. They said there's a 50% chance you will be kidnapped. So therefore, that's the kind of market. So we said default answer is yes, we will operate because consumers are there. They have demand. We will do business. And as a result, we have grown the business from 4 to 40 in $1 million. This year will probably be another 30-40% higher than that. We are doing activation, we are doing marketing, we are doing digital, and it's flourishing as a market. So wherever other people say no, that's where the best opportunities are. When everybody says no, that's the idea to go after. Default answer is yes. Similarly, hotels and airlines. This is an idea that came from a very junior person in the team saying, oh, we are selling in all these retail stores, but when I go to the hotels, I find these random brands that nobody knows about, and I would like to do this business. I said, what is the margin on this business? Don't know. How to sell? Don't know. Who's the distributor? Don't know. I said, okay, let's try, let's go. The person had a contact, they started talking, and in 3 years, today we have a global partnership with IHG, Wyndham, Delta, Turkish Airlines, Singapore Airlines, and 220 million consumers today experience the brand Dove in their hotel rooms worldwide, all because one junior person had an idea and the senior person said, instead of asking 20 questions, ki, why it will not work, simply say, okay, let's try. Here is a budget. Let's experiment. So the second mantra for you is, what are those ideas that are not seeing the light of day because you think you know better, or you are questioning and challenging too much, or it is sitting on your back burner of decision making? What have you said no to in the past that you should say no to, yes to now? We run an ideas competition every year among the team to come up with growth ideas, and we incentivize and reward that. I would encourage you to do the same. The third thing, the launch is the test. When you say default answer is yes, it means you'll get many ideas. These ideas, you don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea. How do you find out in today's social media world, digital world, AI world, if an idea is a good idea, an average idea, or a bad idea? Answer is, we don't know. Nobody knows. And if anybody stands up and says, I am the expert, I know, no, nobody is the expert. So the only way is to actually launch it in the market at a small scale and test. So therefore, we do one brand launch a day. 365 days, we do 365 launches globally. Somebody has an idea, we launch. So today, in fact, we have the, Mr. Shukla is here. Today, we have the ICC Women's Cricket launch, which Rexona, one of our brands, is sponsoring. Again, came out of a conversation like this. And one brand launch a day, we have a 50% success rate. We have a 50% failure rate. Those failures give us a lot of learning for the future. Some examples for you. You see the image on the top left, the bald guy. He's an Israeli guy who was in finance. One day he came to me and said, I'm bored of finance, but I have an idea. I think we can digitize our way of collecting orders from distributors globally. I said, but you are in finance, you don't know anything about digital. He said, but I'm passionate, I can learn. Give me the job, let me try. We started, we put a small budget, $100,000, 50, 60 lakhs, and said, okay, let's get started. Today, the platform he has developed, we are doing $2 billion transaction per year, and Unilever is adopting it globally. Similarly, there was on the bottom right, there is a factory that Unilever has in the middle of India, in Khamgaon. That factory was sort of bust, not making any stock, not making any product. We were about to close the factory. Again, the guy with the glasses on the left in supply chain, Amit, he said, look, let's travel there. We will need to take overnight train because Khamgaon, there is no flight, there is no airport. So train leke jate hain. Let's see whether we can do something with it. So, okay, let's go. 8-10 people went, worked with the factory, identified some products, found some export markets. Today, we are at 100% capacity. It's the lowest cost production site for us globally. And many people globally are coming to say, Acha, what have you done with the same factory? The only difference is you say yes to opportunity. And you allow people to experiment. And our motto is, go do your worst, which means even if you fail, even if I lose some money, it's okay. We will capture those learnings and we will allow you. This freedom of failure allows new business to happen all the time, right? So we are constantly developing new business because people are coming with idea. We are saying yes, we are experimenting, and we are moving. The fourth thing, you're all getting into big time social media marketing, into content development, etc., etc. But the most powerful thing is not running advertising on YouTube or on Facebook or on Meta or any other platform. The most powerful thing in digital is social and search listening, which means mining all the comments and all the conversation online to understand what are people talking about, what are the pain points they have, what are the complaints they have, what are the things they're liking, and making your next product based on that. Let me give you an example. How many people in this room know Vaseline? You know Vaseline as a brand, you all know, right? Global brand, 200-year-old brand, big brand. But most people use the Vaseline petroleum jelly. 4 years ago, when we started doing the research, what do people use Vaseline petroleum jelly for? We found thousands of uses. But what was the number one? Any guesses? People were using it for lips. But the funny thing, inside Unilever, we did not have a lip care product. We had the same jar. And a lot of people are writing in the complaint saying, it works, but I have to put my finger inside it. It's very unhygienic. It doesn't have a fragrance. It doesn't have a color. The product works, but I don't like the way it's presented. So we said, okay, how about we experiment? Again, default answer is yes. Let's make a lip care range. No country was willing to launch. One small country in Korea, where one team said, okay, fine, we will try. Let's launch there. We said, okay, yes, we approve, go ahead. Small budget experiment. Today, that has become world #1 portfolio in the last 4 years. We are market leader in all these countries. And by the way, next month we are launching in India now, the Made in Korea range. So you will soon be able to buy in Myntra, Nykaa, in Reliance, DMart, everywhere. So that idea of listening to consumers to understand what's going on, building product based on that really worked. Let me give you another example. Last year, same time, we started seeing a lot of posts like this in social media in Africa. This product with a lot of influencers talking about it, saying, oh, wow, what a great body oil, amazing product, it really works, etc. Somehow I got one email where I was copied and I said, okay, wow, great product, let's launch. So we asked somebody in the team, okay, can you find out where it is made? And let's go and launch this product. So 2 weeks passed, no reply. Then I followed up with the person. I said, kya hua? Where is it? Okay, I have not been able to find the information, says that person. So I complained to their boss, head of supply chain. I said, why can't we find product information on our own bloody brand in our own market? Another 2 weeks passed, and we still cannot find any information. Then I called the brand head in London saying, okay, this product is getting great reviews in Africa. We want to expand, but nobody has the product information. The brand VP was very embarrassed. She said, give me another week. After another week, okay, she said, even I can't find information. Do you know why? Why do you think nobody was able to find any information? Because this product was a fake. What actually happened was this product used to exist 10 years ago. There were few bottles lying around somewhere. One influencer got hold of it in Nigeria. She used it and she said, wow, what a great product. There was huge demand on Instagram and Facebook as a result. And somebody smart in China set up a huge factory saying, okay, great, very good. Unilever is sleeping. Let's make fakes and start shipping. And they built a huge business on fakes. So my boss, in fact, was in the market and he said, oh, great job, well done. I said, boss, that is a fake. That is not the real thing. So as a result of this social listening, what did we do? I told the team, take the fake, copy the fake, and make the real product again. And we copied the fake to launch the real product. And now that has become 1,000 times of its previous sale. Again, the point is, when you do the research on your competition, when you do the research on property, on any attribute, social listening search listening and e-commerce listening will give you golden insights on product development, features, pricing, how to sell, who's the target consumer, etc. So in marketing, it's not advertising, it's social search and e-commerce listening that you must master. Number 5, cut the weeds. When we study what people do at work, we discovered 50% of the time people are in meetings, at least in Unilever. Maybe in your business is different. 25% of the time they are clearing email and messages, and 2/3 of the time they struggle to find the information. Which means if I pay you $100 as salary, $70 is wasted, only $30 you are actually working. So if that's the case, what do? What we have done is come up with many innovations where we cut meetings, cut emails, and allow people to focus on selling and manufacturing. The first, we have something called Focus Friday. So on Friday, no internal meetings are allowed. You cannot meet anybody else internally. Either meet a customer, go sell. Meet a supplier, go buy. Go externally, learn, like a conference like this. This is a picture of Sir Winston Churchill and King Edward in World War II. Every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m., Sir Winston Churchill used to go to Buckingham Palace to give an update to the King Edward on how is World War II going. And every Tuesday, King Edward used to ask him, Sir Winston, please have a seat, let's have tea together. And Churchill used to say, no, sir, let me keep standing. Let's have a 20-minute standing meeting because there is no topic in the world that cannot be discussed and completed in 20 minutes. They won World War II in having 20-minute meetings. So therefore, we can also do it. So we have reduced the default to 30 or 15-minute meetings only and cut the number of meetings by half. Also, when we start the day, instead of making a to-do list, I encourage everybody to say just one question to yourself. What's your MEET? What does MEET stand for? Most effective action today. What's the one thing I'm going to do today that if I did today, end of the day, I feel this was a good day? That could be working out. That could be talking to a customer. That could be anything. Doesn't really matter. So instead of 500 things that I have to do, what's my MEET of the day? So for me, MEET of the day is this conference. If it goes well, my day is good. If not, it won't. Canceling meetings. So we have a ritual every Sunday evening or Monday morning. I do it and I encourage everybody in the team. We have a target. How many meetings can you cancel, right? So my personal target is to cancel 25 meetings every week. So how do you do that? You identify which are the least important meetings, which one somebody else can attend for you, which meeting are you only attending and not speaking, right? So if you're just joining a meeting and two other people are talking, the boss and his number one person, and you're just listening, then you're waste of everybody's time, right? And lastly, come up with your best excuses. So I reward people for the most creative excuses to avoid meetings. Because the more meetings you avoid, the more growth you have in the business. There is no growth coming out of meetings, PowerPoint, or emails. It's coming by meeting customers. Go flight mode. I think all of you are having maybe 2, 4, 5, 6 phones, 10 devices, I don't know how many, and they're always on. So it's very important to have flight mode time. What is flight mode time? You send an invite to yourself for 1 to 2 hours. Start with once a week, eventually once a day, which is your invite to yourself, your phone is off, your Wi-Fi is off, and you're working without the internet. You work on whatever you think is important, financial, strategy, planning, analysis, reading, sleeping, whatever. But go flight mode at least once a week and ideally every single day. I spoke about the 20 minutes example. Number 6, freeing the people. Now, young people want more salary. They want more promotions. And they will jump from company A to company B and say, I'm getting 2 lakhs more here, I'm getting 3 lakhs more here. Sorry, I got another job offer. Mujhe title increase karke de diya. I will go there. Very common problem. You can't increase everybody's salary. You can't promote everybody. You can't give everybody the money that they want. So how do you retain your best people? This problem we have solved by creating a lot of programs around what is even more important than money, freedom and autonomy. How people want to work. So we have created the programs. Like, for example, we have created a program called UI Venturous. A lot of young people told us, I want to have a global career. I said, but I can't afford to send everybody around the world. Not possible. I don't have the money. So we said, we will allow you to work from anywhere in the world for up to 30 days at your cost. I'm not going to pay. I just give you permission. So I have a guy in Nigeria who was going to quit. He says, I want to go to Southeast Asia. I said, okay, go. He went to Thailand. 1 month he was there at his own cost, doing his job in Nigeria time, very happy, not asking me for a promotion anymore. And a lot of people went and spent time with their aging parents. A lot of people went and worked in another country. Very, very successful program. We have 4.5-day work week, 4-day work week, etc. And these are some ideas that you can implement. First, Focus Friday, I talked to you about it, where basically you have a no meeting time or no meeting, which is only customer focus. UI Ventures, work from anywhere. UI Experiences, work from another hub. UI Founders, I had 4 people come to me in the last 1 year and say, I love this job, I'm very happy, but I'm going to quit. I said, why? Are you getting more money? He said, no. Are you getting better title? No. He said, I want to start my own business. And that is my itch. So I said, okay, how can I have best of both worlds? So we got approval for the first time in Unilever to say, go ahead, start your own business while working in Unilever. The day that business is profitable and makes so much money, okay, you quit, no problem. So UI Founders Program, now we have 5 people who have set up their own business. They do their day job. In their weekends, in their evenings, in their morning, they run their own business. Some of them eventually may move on. Some of them will not. But it has unleashed new entrepreneurial animal spirit in all of them. By doing things like this without spending any money, we managed to retain a lot of our top talent. Invest in leaders. I think everybody needs therapy. Job is high stress, a lot of conflicts, a lot of challenges in your industry especially. So what we have done, you will be hearing from Rahul Dravid, the Indian team coach, later. Coaching is important, but coaching is expensive. Coaching may be difficult. It's not possible to get coaches for everybody. So what we decided to do is we created the opposite of internship. It's called returnship, which means you may have retired, you may be 60 years old, you still want to contribute back, but you don't want to do full-time job. So we brought back retired people to say, why don't you coach our teams and you be like a sports coach, meaning you join every meeting, you're copied in the emails, you understand what is going on between the different people. One of the biggest problem in Indian workspace is ego. Person A doesn't talk to person B. Sabki ego badi hai. And therefore, how do you solve that problem? You get somebody like this inside the team to watch the behavior and recognize. So this is now implemented. What is the result? Lowest engagement to highest. Margins have gone up. Innovations are landing faster. Business results are double-digit growth. If there is career plan for everyone, and I think one of the things we also discovered was we have a special category of person which I'm sure you all know. Do you know a brilliant jerk at work? Somebody who's very good at what they do, but they're a complete asshole to other people. They may be rude, they may be arrogant, they may be shouting at other people, they don't listen, they interrupt other people, they think they already know the answer. How many of you know somebody like this? I think all of us do, right? So it's a big problem. How do you tackle this problem? We said we will work on identifying, based on feedback survey or people feedback, who are the brilliant jerks in the organization. All of them will be given coaching to help improve. If they don't improve, they will be given warning letters, and eventually they will be let go. We had one person who was the #1 top performing person in the company, but they thought they knew the answer to everything. They never listened to anybody. They always interrupt other people. We tried all of this, the person, it didn't work. Finally, the decision was, keep this top performer or let them go. We let them go, and the result is massive increase in results because everybody else started to flourish. So there's a very nice book called The No Asshole Rule. I encourage you to read it. I think it talks about how team dynamics are more important than individuals. And I think one thing I will ask of everybody in this room is, if there is one investment you should make, it's not in a salesperson, it's not buying your next piece of land, it's not in hiring a consultant to do an IPO, it's to get the best person for HR in your organization. The best person for HR is the biggest transformation you can have. I got my HR, her name is Larissa. All of the things I'm showing you are happening with her, right? And this is a person who is driven, ambitious, motivated, brings all these unique programs to life. And I think a HR investment is probably the single most important investment you can make if you want to scale your business 10x, right? So I will not talk about all of these. Elevating future leaders, we run a program where we have identified the top 10% population. We give them special treatment. They have coaching access. 2 times a year, we take them to events like this. We upgrade their job titles, fund them on external courses, give them visibility in their careers. And these people are the ones driving the growth. They have turned a company that had lost money for 25 years now into the most profitable business in Unilever, developed some of the lowest cost products in the world, and done some of the biggest activations, right? Last 2 messages. I think we talked on social listening. But again, remember, in marketing today, what you say as a brand. How many people here have advertising campaigns? Like you run advertising, right? You buy print, TV, digital, with your brand name, your logo, your property, whatever. Only few? What about the rest of you? No? I think everyone. Let me tell you, nobody buys anything as a result of that. It's totally useless. Not a single piece of paid advertising works any longer. Why? Because we don't trust advertising. When you are on YouTube and you are watching a video and there is an advertising, what do? You look for the skip button. If it's unskippable, what do? You turn your face away. You're on Spotify free and it says, now listen to me for 15 seconds, you turn your earphones off. Yes or no? How many people in this room love advertising? You love to watch yourself some ad. Anyone? Anyone with a show of hands? Okay, nobody, right? So advertising is a complete waste of money. And I'm talking about a company whose main job is to do advertising and marketing. I'm telling you, it's a complete waste of money. The only thing that works is what we call others say. Others say means when others talk about you, that is credible, that is reliable, which means influencer marketing at scale, where influencers who actually are current buyers, future buyers, experts in the industry talk about you. That's where the credibility comes from. This is an example. You all know the brand Pears. Pears is a big brand in India. We also sell in the UK. That brand was 7% market share for 10 years. We did all possible campaign, digital, TV, outdoor, indoor, nothing happened. We did one campaign with influencers and others say we are now at 10% share and doing really, really well. Similarly, live selling and live streaming and content development. Your teams have to do it. You have to do it. This is an example from Korea where you see the guy in the gray suit. That's my general manager of Korea. I said, you go on the YouTube show, you sell the product because you belong to the company, people will trust you. He said, I am so shy, I did not even make my wedding speech. I said, I don't care. You have to speak and you have to speak for 3 hours. So he had to learn everything about the product and talk. So what is far more credible is if your organization, influencers are talking about the product, the experience, what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, and not advertising, right? And I will skip this. The last final message from my side, and then happy to take some questions. If you forget everything else, the number one deficiency that human beings have is not vitamin C, vitamin D, multivitamin, protein. All of these are not our deficiencies. The number one deficiency we all have at work and at home is vitamin A. A stands for appreciation. We are all highly underappreciated. So we have started a movement called Vitamin A, where we give lots and lots of individual awards. Anybody can nominate anybody for anything. It can be for growth, for sales, for profit, for new idea, for initiative, for working hard, etc. The awards are given not just by me, but also by the entire leadership team and by people. The awards can be as small as a coffee voucher going up to $100 to a lunch or a team event or a team travel. But it's really, really important to do this. And if you ask me what's the one secret to making any change in anybody, it is building a culture of vitamin A. Do you know how many people here are married? Everybody? Mostly you're married. What do you think is the ratio of appreciation to criticism in a successful marriage? What do you think? It's a scientific answer. It's been well studied. What do you think is the ratio? 20/80. It's 5.3:1, meaning every time somebody says, Arey, this food is cold. Why did you keep the towel here? You're not home on time. Or your shirt is not looking right. Or you have put on weight. Or whatever. You say anything. You have to appreciate that person 5.3 times for them to feel equal. And who does that? Who does that? Who in this room wakes up and gives 5 compliments to your spouse? Anybody? Huh? All of us are Joruga Gulam. But this is the answer to Joruga Gulam, which is the 5.3:1 ratio. By the way, my wife is in the room. Even she will agree, I don't do 5.3:1. So we are all short of vitamin A, of deficiency. And I think this data is well proven scientifically. If you want to bring change in your workplace, you want to drive high performance, you want to build a culture of vitamin A. High performing teams give 5:1 positive to negative reinforcement. Whether it's an award, a recognition, a positive message, or whatever. So every time you're going to criticize somebody, you have 2 options. Either you appreciate that person 5 times, which is unlikely, or keep your mouth shut. Don't criticize them. and especially applies at home, equally as it applies at work. So in summary, the rules for growing business 10x have very little to do with courses, but a lot to do with practice. Set your 10x goals because you have 1,000 to 1,500 weeks to live. That's the number of Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays you have left. Default answer is yes for every opportunity. Launch is the test. Make things people want. Learn social listening yourself and your teams. Cut the weeds, especially meetings. Free people to work in different ways, like working from anywhere up to a limited period of time. Invest in leadership. Hire Hercules for HR. One investment to make is a strong HR head. Master others say or influencer marketing. And if you forget everything else, which is perfectly okay after 3 days of drinking and partying, just remember the one thing that will transform every work relationship and every home relationship is if you can increase the dose of vitamin A slightly at home. And you can do it today. I would encourage you after this talk, pull out your phone and instead of checking the stock market or your property price, send one positive vitamin A message to somebody. See the result, you will be amazed. So with that, thank you very much.
Mr. Puri, you know, your presentation has just made a world of a difference because I've been getting this audience to clap like this for the last 2 days. But we finally understand vitamin A. Okay, quickly, this is the moment you can ask Mr. Puri a question. Make it count because we're running very tight on time. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll make sure a mic reaches you. Can we please have a mic reach this gentleman? And I have one more microphone. Does anyone else have a question? Raise your hand, sir. Please get the mic to that gentleman there. Okay, we'll come to you. We're going to take 5 questions only and only 1 question per person. Sir, go ahead.
So you talked about saying yes, the default being yes. Are there any filters that you apply of cost, reversible, irreversible decisions? Is there a way to come around it? You know, because specifically when I think about real estate, every project is a 5 to 7 year non-reversible kind of decision. How do you take that in your organization? What are the areas that you kind of say this is something which is sacrosanct? No.
Hold on. Mr. Puri's mic, please.
It's working? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah. I think what is sacrosanct is simple. We're never going to break the law, right? So we're never going to do anything illegal. So the first question is, whatever you're proposing to me, is it going to break the law? Is it illegal? Are you committing some crime? Answer is no. If it's in the box of yes, default answer is yes. Then the question is how? The question is, if somebody came to me with a $5 million proposal, I still say yes. But my first say to them is, how can I pilot an experiment and prove this at a smaller scale, right? What is the smallest possible scale to achieve this rather than go for the biggest thing ever? That's number 2. Third is the question you are tackling, oh, what happens if it goes wrong, right? What happens? What is the downside risk? So of course we cap the downside. You're absolutely right. Every project I'm telling you is a 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, maybe $500,000, worst case 1 million investment, which for my P&L, I can absorb, I can take it. Somebody came to me with $100 million idea, I will still say yes and say, I allow you to experiment with $1 million first. If it works, 100 million is yours. So I think no breaking of laws, defining a threshold limit, but creating a culture where the idea is not this. The idea is everybody should be always sending you messages saying, can I do this, can I do this, can I do this? That culture must be there where new ideas are coming all the time. Because from 10 ideas, you will get that one idea which will make you your next 100 million.
Aseem,
Fantastic. Okay, hold on. Yes, sir. Hanji.
Aseem, no question, comment on you. Aseem, तुसी असामान्य है. नेटकॉन खर्चा वसूल.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take the next question from someone here. Who has the mic? Please raise your hand. Yes, sir. You'd like to ask a question? Hold on. I'm going to get a mic to you.
When you start can I start?
Yes, sir. Why don't you start and we'll get the mic to this gentleman. Go ahead.
So you said when your people are coming up with new ideas, they start a new business. How do you incentivize it, or how do you make them to take care of a new venture?
How do you incentivize the new venture?
Yeah.
I think the first thing is if you as the CEO, founder, owner of your business say yes to an idea, that is the biggest incentive first. If I came up with an idea and my boss said to me, "Ha, let's try," I'm excited, I'm motivated. Second is we try to form what we call micro teams. Micro teams means somebody has an idea. Okay, I give you 1 or 2 people, get started, limited amount of money. We check in every month and see how you're doing. And then, of course, if you want to incentivize somebody, financial incentive you can always put. But what I'm trying to say here is the deepest motivation of human beings is not financial. When we are born, we are not born with a target of a bank balance. Autonomy, independence, freedom is far more valuable. I have many people in my team, including Anirban, who's sitting here. He can raise his hand. Every 2-3 months, he gets a job offer from somebody with 50% higher salary. Okay, he doesn't quit so far. The reason is not money. The reason is because there's a high degree of freedom and autonomy. So I encourage you, allow people to experiment. They will stick with you.
Fantastic. So do you have my guess? Go ahead.
If you were to do something, if given the experience you've had at Unilever, if you were to do something differently, what would it be that you think you've learned over all these years?
I think I would have I would have been far more bolder in this idea of experimentation. I think all my training in business school, training in Unilever in the first few years was get it right, make it perfect, test before you launch. That I realized was all wrong. I think the secret is experiment, 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 and see which experiment works. So I would create this culture of experimentation much earlier compared to now, but no regrets. I think very happy with how things are going.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any more questions? Quick check. Yes. Sir, could you please come a little forward so that we can get a mic to you? Yes, sir, you're there. So do you have a question there? Yes. Okay, hold on. Let's take this last question here. Sir, could you
Sure.
please step forward? And just keep your hand raised so that he can come to you. Yeah. Okay, last question for this session. Go ahead.
So you have built a lovely team, what I understand, across the globe. So how do you define and how do you decide on the leadership team? Because you have got good players around, but how do you decide on the A player?
Okay. So I have what I called, and I think many people will understand, and sorry for those who don't. Your friends can translate for you. For recruiting in our business, we have a 4G model. Like 5G, 4G phone ka hota hai na? So 4G model. What is 4G model? First, Ghusu, which means person who gets into details. Second is Ghisu, person who works hard and jiske jute bilkul gale mein, they're willing to work hard. Third is Gujju, which means have a money mindset. And fourth is Gabru, meaning allowed to take experiments. So Ghusu, Ghisu, Gujju, Gabru. These are the 4 criteria. Then we hire.
Okay. One. Yes, sir, please.
No, I just listening to you, and your presentation was really good, and you gave lot many tips. But just wanted to find out about your products.
Ji.
So there's one product called Fair and Lovely.
Haan ji.
So there are lot many things doing around that product. That can really convert a dark person to a fair person. What is it, a genuine product or fake product? This is what I want to know.
So Shuklaji, all products are genuine. Product is called Glow and Lovely now. That's the name. And it's a overall skincare cream giving you skin glow. It's not changing your skin color. That is not the promise. The promise is to give good glowing skin. It is not, everybody's skin is perfect the way it is. So
It can't convert a Negro into
no, sir,
British.
not at all. That is not the idea either. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Mr. Puri, with your permission, we're going to take one last question. That
Okay,
gentleman
sure,
has
sure.
been waiting for a long time. Sir,
Sure,
go ahead.
sure. Okay, final question. Thank you.
Yes, final.
Hi, good morning. As an FMCG person, because your product is different and our real estate industry is different, because FMCG is where we go regularly and take the products and we will use it regularly. But as a real estate, this is the one time in a life, right? So what makes the difference? What is the difference between your business and the real estate? Can you please define that? What should we do to connect with the FMCG line?
Yeah, so I will just say one thing. You would all know of a famous FMCG soap brand company in India that is now in your industry. I don't need to name it, you know it, and it is doing extremely well. Yes? So brands have a lot of value. I can tell you, if any of my brands were to enter your industry, I will get a lot of market share. People trust brands, and brands are built on credibility. So I would say branding, marketing, using social listening, influencer marketing, we are the same. I may sell a soap, you may sell a house, but the principles remain exactly the same. They are not very different. And if the industry margins are attractive, who knows? Anybody from this industry can come into that industry. So don't count it out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
everybody.
all those
Thank you.
phenomenal questions. Requesting Mr. Jagdish Babu, Mr. Sandeep Srivastav, and Mr. Gaurav Gupta to please join us on the stage and present a token of our vitamin A on behalf of CREDAI.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, please.
On the fair and lovely question that Radif sir asked, in my childhood मैंने बहुत fair and lovely लगाई but हुआ कुछ नहीं. So good you changed it to glow and lovely now.
All right, everyone. Vitamin A ho jaye for Mr. Aseem Puri. Thank you. What a phenomenal session.